Yo, are y'all man? Before let's see what we got. We got as to I don't know how to say his name. He makes great videos. He will be linked in the description. Follow up over here. But we got IRL streamer Clav destroyed his life for internet attention. It's destroyed. I'm retarded, bro. I can't even fucking spell. I can't even read.
Self-proclaimed stimulant-abusing Chad Clavicular just got hard-mogged by Arizona police mid-jester max at the club, all because he was LARPing his age with a fake ID and live streaming it. I know everything in this intro and the title of this video is a violation to the English language, but here we are.
The ratio is the
Buzzword maxing, boys.
This feels like
And this was really bad for him apparently because this came only days after he went viral on Twitter for being quote-unquote brutally frame-mogged by an ASU frat leader. It seems like part of his marketing is to just have clippers spew the most hyperbolic Gen Z possible language ever while describing whatever mundane thing is happening on his stream. I feel like Clavicular is kind of like a handsome Squidward, and he's always having a handsome Squidward off wherever he goes. Because, you know, it's always mog or be mogged, as his clippers say. But this is the second time that we've talked about him in the last couple of months, so
Yeah, that shit's a little gay, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
if you remember, he also ran down a guy on his car live on stream on Christmas Eve. But I'm not sure which situation horrified him the most, that one or the one that he was just in now. But I guess he can try to keep his cortisol.
Bro, he's funny. Like, his clips are funny. Like, I use one of the words he says now. He made it. I saw it on the clip. Buzzword maxing. I like it. It's funny. He's a funny dude. It's just some things he promotes is like, okay, it's a little weird, like doing meth and hitting yourself in the face. I don't know if that shit works. Some shit he promotes is weird and shit, but I mean, he's funny.
Levels low, but for a minute, he had the potential threat of being forced to jail max for a possible of 8 years, and that might be as scary to him as finding cheese in his Whopper.
I see the boys waiting for me with a bag of Burger King. I'm getting so excited. I'm like, holy. So the first thing I'm getting is Burger King right out of lockup. Straight to a bag of Burger King, a Whopper waiting for me. I'm getting, oh my God. I start getting all hyped up. I was like, dude, I just forgot about everything bad that had happened in the past 24 hours. I get in the car and I'm unwrapping the Burger King and there's f***ing cheese on it. My cortisol levels jumped so high through the roof. I wanted to go back in.
So obviously, if you have no idea what I'm saying and are wondering if I need to be checked for signs of CTE, congratulations on never having to consume the algorithm of Clavicular, nor any of his looks maxing clippers, because they use some fascinating Gen Z lingo, to put it lightly. But I feel like the dude just blew up overnight. Like, I know he's been doing this for a long time, but basically, he became very famous in like the span of just a few months. But just like he blew up in such a short span of time, he's now risked prison time.
I mean, that's TikTok, bro.
Multiple times in just like a few months. So obviously today we're talking about the looks maxer known as Clavicular, or Braden Peters. He's a 20-year-old IRL streamer who blew up for openly admitting to be using some pretty unhinged strategies to improve his looks, like bone smashing and roids, and even going as far as partaking in a little bit of that Heisenberg special just to suppress the appetite. And bone smashing, by the way, is apparently just whacking yourself with a hammer to essentially chisel your own face. So like he'll just like sit and whack his cheekbones to be, you know, to have a more defined cheek. I guess that works. Who knows? Essentially, we're just reaching new levels of being vain here.
So I actually do have a new lean maxing strategy that's quite controversial, and I'm not exactly going to advise that you do this, but what I did was I basically blasted for 3 days. I spammed a combination of Adderall and ketamine for appetite suppression, and I literally went on a 3-day fast and stayed awake the entire time, and I lost 5
What's the odds, bro?
pounds. So that was probably the craziest thing I've ever done.
What's the
But
odds,
it's a look, like I said, guys, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm some good influence. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's what I did. I'm crazy. So yeah, I was essentially doing.
At least he's telling people not to do it.
But apparently it's trouble in paradise because in the more recent months his fans have been upset because he's already showing signs of descending, which is, I guess, skipping the gym to stream more and admitting to only eat fast food. And now he's been arrested on charges of forgery, use of fake ID, and drug possession while live on Kick. Naturally, though, Clavicular was hooked up with the best lawyers by none other than Aiden Ross. This is basically basically just a deja vu moment from his last situation we covered back at the end of December.
A little rundown about this Clav situation. They're trying to make an example out of him, and that's why they're saying he has to go court in 2-3 weeks. So let me explain to you guys what the I did. I called Clav. We're getting the best lawyers. But Clav, I'm going to make sure that, like, I want you to get the help you deserve. Nobody deserves to at a young age. When, you know what I mean? Like, I just care. I want him to just, you know, be in a good spot.
But instantly, the clips of him being arrested began circulating everywhere with mocking captions like, Clavicular got brutally mugged as he criminal maxed by LARPing his age with a fake ID in Arizona. Got handcuffed, but kept his cortisol levels low. Okay. If anything, it seems like the general consensus of the internet was who cares or about time, but people joked about him getting frame mugged by his cellmates and turned him into countless memes, offering basically zero sympathy, all while he spent the night in an Arizona prison. And they of course live streamed his bail hearing the next day on February 8th, where his presumably expensive lawyer started by arguing semantics about whether or not the charges apply to him because he had absolutely no intention to defraud anyone with his fake ID.
The forgery count, ARS 1322 indicates that a person commits forgery with the intent to defraud, and then goes on to say knowingly possesses the instrument. There is absolutely nothing in this Form 4 that indicates that he was possessing any forged item with the intent to defraud anyone. He was asked by law enforcement what his name and date of birth was. He provided his true name and date of birth. Once he was searched and information was taken from his person, that is where that fake ID was located, according to the Form 4.
And the lawyer also claimed that the staff allowed him in on some basis that he was a promoter, and that was somehow on the establishment, I guess for convincing him that he was legally allowed to be there by allowing him in.
As it relates to the next count of entering into a licensed facility using a fake ID, there is nothing in the Form 4 here that indicates that that is true at all. What is indicated in the Form 4 is that law enforcement spoke with the staff of that establishment, and they believed that he was there as a promoter, and the employees who provided information to law enforcement never said anything about him using a false ID to gain access to that establishment. Instead, what they said was that they believed that they had gone through the proper channels in order to get him hired on as an employee to serve as a promoter for that establishment. Nothing in the Form 4, nothing that law enforcement had.
He's a promoter, bro.
Had access to during this arrest gave them any reason to believe that he used a fake ID to get into that establishment, or that anybody said that he used a fake ID while he was.
I would have a feeling that, like, if you're promoting a bar, you would probably have to be over the age of 21 or 21 or over the age.
At that establishment.
In my opinion, still not a great argument, but okay. Then they moved on to the drug charges. Naturally, the Chad lawyer suggested this was also just nonsense, since Clavicular could have very well had a prescription for this. He just simply didn't have it at the time.
The prescription drugs that are alleged to have been found on his person. There's nothing in this to establish that he does not have a valid prescription. He was not able to produce a valid prescription according to law enforcement this evening, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't have a prescription.
He then says the police shouldn't have found the drugs because they didn't have cause to search him.
Because they had no probable cause to place him under arrest for those two predicate offenses, they had nothing to establish that they had the right to search his person, and that's what ultimately gets them to what they are alleging to be illegal substances, prescription substances. They didn't have any right in this case to place him under arrest because there is nothing in this Form 4 that establishes either of those two predicates.
He's cooking, bro.
And it is interesting to see his fans foam at the mouth and form a digital mob in the chat towards everyone involved in charging him while they await his bail with his friends and camera in his car. Like, even when she points out that he quite literally streamed himself wandering around ASU trying to obtain Adderall from strangers and then was arrested with one lone capsule floating loose in his pocket.
It indicates that it was a one loose pill. Additionally, I would point out that there's information in the Form 4 that Mr. Peters had been live streaming himself approaching individuals in Old Town Scottsdale asking if he could obtain Adderall. So certainly that factual information would negate the assertion that he in fact has some type of valid prescription for that.
I mean, come on. You're a moron.
Yeah, you can't do it. You can't commit a crime on live, bro, or while you're filming. Fuck.
If you're live streaming yourself asking random people on the street for pills. Now, do I think that you should go to jail for having a single capsule in your pocket? No. That's a complete waste of taxpayer money. But still, live streaming yourself asking people for those capsules? What are you thinking? Why do people live stream themselves committing felonies every day at this point? But by the end of the bail hearing, the charges still stand based on the fact the judge thinks there's probable cause for all of them.
I do find probable cause as to all 3 of these allegations.
Then the state argues for a $25,000 bail based on him being a flight risk for having no ties to Arizona and having a general disregard for morals or consequences.
The state is asking for a $25,000 secured appearance bond. Our understanding is that Mr. Peters resides in the state of Florida, that he has no known ties to Arizona. The state is particularly concerned, one, that he represents a flight risk given that he doesn't have any ties to the state of Arizona. Additionally, our understanding is that he does have a significant source of income that he could use to assist him to flee. Additionally, we are concerned really just in general of whether he'll comply with any kind of release conditions given his behavior. As I indicated earlier in my previous argument, he was live streaming himself going up to individuals asking for an illegal substance.
But he still ultimately was released on his own recognizance, meaning that he won't have to pay the proposed $25,000.
Counselor, I'll trust that you will have a conversation with your client about the need to be very careful about, the content of what he posts to social media, and given that, the court is going to release Mr. Peters on his own recognizance.
But of course, there is a list of terms and conditions that come with this merciful gesture.
So he's going to be released on his own recognizance. He's going to be released here in a couple of hours. They're going to start processing him out. Okay. So released to his own recognizance means he has no release conditions. There's no restrictions on really anything. The primary restrictions are going to be he can't return to the scene of the offense. Okay, he cannot have any contact with any witnesses or the alleged complainant. He can't possess any weapons, any drugs without a valid prescription, not to possess or consume alcohol, can't drive a vehicle without a driver's license.
So he can't return to the scene of the offense or contact the victims or witnesses. He can't possess any weapons or drugs without proper prescription. And obviously, he can't possess or consume alcohol since he's only 20. And to be honest, it sort of sounds like he's describing one of Clav's normal streams: drinking, gambling, going to bars, using fake IDs, and soliciting Adderall from strangers. I feel like that's just a regular night for him on stream. The dude is essentially just a Love Island contestant who live streams his life. This is the newest form of reality TV. But in the moment, it seemed like the nightly streams were going to become a whole lot more boring, and in Arizona for the foreseeable future.
He also cannot leave the state of Arizona. That's the big one. If he leaves the state of Arizona, he is going to catch more charges, and he's going to be revoked on release. Okay? He needs to come in and see us first thing Monday. Okay? First thing Monday, we'll get him squared away on next steps.
And this is because at the time, he wasn't allowed to leave the state until his hearings at the end of February. And even then, he wasn't totally sure when he would be able to leave Arizona, with some sources saying that he could be looking at as many as 8 years for this, which would be absolutely crazy for a single capsule. But those also are just numbers. There's no way
he ain't getting that, bro.
He would actually get the full sentence. It's kind of like with the Jack Doherty stuff. There's no way Jack is getting the full sentence of what he's currently facing in Miami. And then you had Clippers saying he was facing like a total of 15 years, which is crazy. But also, I mean, after looking at that tweet again, I keep forgetting that he hit someone with a car. I haven't heard about this civil lawsuit until now, but that is also super interesting. But he was really quickly to go back.
Dude, I thought in some ways it was self-defense. The dude was clearly like, I don't know what it is. He was clearly like following him and shit. And I think if you're standing on someone's car acting out, I think they have the right to drive, bro. What do you want me to get out?
To streaming, even though it was quite a lot tamer than his ASU streams from the days prior.
My bad, bro. I should have kept it louder.
Or any of his previous streams in general. But hey, you gotta make a living one way or the other. So he was back to streaming.
It's the assistant's fault, not mine.
What the I'm gonna freak out. I'm gonna freak out, dude. Cheese on it. I can't do this, bro. I can't do this.
But a lot of people started saying something about him beginning to fumble ruins his persona.
What the is this? I wanna go home.
Really? You don't want to eat?
Try.
Prison got him fucked up.
But I don't think too many people
24 hours of jail got him fucked up.
Buy into his shtick, and I only absorb his content against my will for, I guess you can say, journalistic purposes or in memes. But now we're witnessing him nervously second-guessing himself on things that he can and can't say.
For legal reasons, I really can't do not going to gamble because I just need to talk to more lawyers and figure out like what even content can I make, because you can't drink. There's a lot of terms to my release that they're just.
You can't get on a game. You can't like speak to your friends, or like you can't do something. You can't build a puzzle. I don't know.
Waiting. If I up one time, even on a desktop stream, the cops will be arresting me probably within 10 minutes. They're watching all the time, so that's why I really just can't do. I have no idea what I can do. I have no idea what I can say.
I thought he was all about mogging. I wouldn't say he's mogging here. That's such a stupid term.
Yeah.
Mr. Peters, do you understand that you have court hearings on February 23rd at 8:30 a.m. and February 26th at 8:30 a.m.?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you understand that you must make an appearance at both of those hearings?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And do you understand the importance of resolving this matter?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
But Clav then spent the next few days mostly silent online, aside from a couple of awkward desktop streams where his chat complained about him not doing IRL content out of fear for repercussions. But a day before the news dropped, he hinted at being only one day away from something that could or could not happen, and told his chat doing an IRL stream simply wasn't worth the risk.
I basically decided that it was a bad idea for me to go IRL when there's one day until something could or couldn't happen is all I'm gonna say in my legal case. So IRLs are unpredictable, so I'm gonna keep it chill on here. The feds are watching anyway.
And within 24 hours, tweets and then
The feds, bro.
and eventually news reports started coming out stating that the charges had been dropped. Because according to Joseph Bernstein of the New York Times, the Maricopa County attorney
Who? Joseph?
charges had been dropped. Because according to Joseph Bernstein of the New York Times, the Maricopa County attorney dropped the charges against the streamer. And the reason for this was the charges reportedly had no reasonable likelihood of conviction. So rather than going to court, the charges were just simply dropped. And obviously, Clav wasted no time in quote tweeting this with a screenshot of an article that says men's facial features may sway criminal sentencing. And his own added note, you just got a mog. Essentially insinuating that he mogged his way out of the charges. Now, dude, unfortunately, the legal system is a pay-to-win system, and you just had great counsel. And in the grand scheme of things, what he did wasn't wild at all, which goes to show you that people like Johnny Smalley should have just picked a better country or location at where they acted. Because if Johnny did all the stuff that he did in South Korea in the United States, most likely he would have just gotten a slap on the wrist. But unfortunately for Johnny, he's in South Korea. But in general,
Plus, you're in a different country and you're a tourist, and they're just gonna make an example out of you.
you just take these idiots the IRL over and over again. The problem with these guys is they keep raising the bar. And when you raise the bar over and over again,
this was a good one. We're gonna get into these comments real quick. He does meth but won't eat cheese, exactly. But 27, he's gonna have a face. Yeah, I don't want to be rude. Like I think some things he does are probably good to do, like losing weight, eating less, don't eat bad stuff, working out. I think that would be good. But like doing meth, doing like putting Botox and steroids and all that shit like he's doing, I don't think he can even have kids if he wanted to. Right now, like to me, it's just weird, bro. I don't know. I love cheese, and now knowing one single slice is an emotion destroyed makes me love it more. Okay. Here's a former state trooper. He will be sentenced to a misdemeanor, complete division program, and pay some fines, but won't gain any acknowledgement. Probably. Former trooper. Goddamn. It will be pled down to a misdemeanor. He will be okay. I swear, I feel like I'm gonna assume maybe he's the actual state trooper. This one stole it. So I think we just got it AI. All live. That's crazy. Clavicular is a stupid ass name. Okay. 322 or 23. That's not fast. Oh yeah, it's not a fast. I get it. The looks maxing dude should be brain maxing instead, bro. Yeah. First couple minutes, I thought I was having a stroke. None of these words made sense to me. Yeah, I'm the same way. All right, y'all, man. You guys gotta let me know what you think about this. Do you think he's gonna be plead down like that state trooper said? Honestly, I don't know. I think maybe slap on the red scale, a month in jail, pay some fines. You know, I don't know. I don't really give a fuck, bro. Be honest with you. I think if that court or the stuff in Florida is still getting charged and it wasn't dropped, I haven't looked into it, but I think that's a bigger fish, a bigger fish that needs to be fried, bro. Because what he had Adderall, which is a drug. I mean, and he had fake ID. I mean, yeah, give him 2 weeks or a month in jail, pay some fines, boom.